let's move on to our next guest, Marlena. What would you like to ask Dr. Nita?
I'm a 35-year-old woman who is very vibrant, might I add. But I've dealt with fibroids for a very long time. I have polycystic ovary syndrome. I've had a couple of surgeries to remove my fibroids, and earlier this year, my doctor told me that I was going to have a hysterectomy. So they removed my cervix, they removed my fallopian tubes, and they removed my uterus. Ever since then, I haven't really been having a whole lot of issues at the bottom in regards to the surgery, but I have had some crazy things happen. I've been having some really excessive hair growth, and it's not on my head, Dr. Nita. You know I need it on my head. It's been in all kinds of strange places. And I've also been dealing with just kind of vaginal dryness and things of that nature. I'm trying to figure out, am I going into early menopause? What do I need to do? You know, I'm not married. I'm still out here, you know, looking and dating and things like that. And I want to be the same type of woman I was prior to the hysterectomy.
Absolutely. Okay. So here's the thing with your symptoms after you have a hysterectomy, then that's just removal of the uterus. So your ovaries are still there, and your ovaries actually make hormones. So since your ovaries are still there, just having that hysterectomy, removal of the uterus, shouldn't throw you into menopause. Now, there have been studies showing that for some reason, maybe it's because of disruption of the blood supply or something, women who have a hysterectomy can go into menopause a little earlier, like 3.5 or 4.5 years earlier, but that's not where you are. You're saying these symptoms happen right after. So that's a little different and something that we would need to look at to see exactly what's going on, because is it possible that it's a coincidence that you had this hysterectomy and now you're kind of going into early menopause? Absolutely, but we wouldn't want to just jump to that. We would want to do lab tests. So we could check your thyroid. We would make sure that's okay. We can check your follicle stimulating hormone, your FSH, which is a hormone that can be elevated with menopause. Now, I will say if somebody is going into early menopause, then sometimes the level can be up, it can be down, because sometimes your ovaries are still making an appropriate amount of estrogen, even though you're exhibiting symptoms, because as you go through the menopause transition, you can still have some of those menopausal symptoms like hot flashes, but I would say we would check that. Check your androgen levels, because the fact that you're having this excessive hair growth all of a sudden, that's concerning. And now I know you have PCOS, but you're saying that this is different. This isn't how it was before. So we always want to check certain androgen levels when somebody has that complaint. So we want to make sure that's okay. Go through your medication list, because sometimes certain medications can cause you to have symptoms like excessive hair growth or something like that. And then check for neurological things. So what I'm saying is, yes, it could be early menopause, absolutely. It's a possibility, but not necessarily just because you have had your hysterectomy, because the ovaries are still there, and that timeline just doesn't necessarily work unless it's a coincidence. You want to make sure there's not something else going on.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I'm going to let you know how it goes.
Keep living, girl.
Good luck. And Marlena, incidentally, thank you so much for pulling over and not driving during this.
No problem. Greetings from Texas to all the single people out there.
Well, be careful, Marlena. If you may have to post your phone number on our website.
I don't think she'll object.
Be well.